There's a strange phenomenon nobody talks about in retail. No matter what your friends want to do with their life, they all end up working in retail. It doesn't matter if they're studying, say, engineering, psychology, astrophysics, or even interpretive dance. They will, at some point, end up behind a till, folding clothes, or explaining a return policy to somebody who definitely knows better. Retail is like gravity. You try to escape it, but eventually it pulls you in. So today we're talking about why all your friends, every single one, at some point will end up working in retail, even if they swore they never would. It always starts with that one friend. One friend gets a retail job, just the one. They say it's temporary. It'll just be 6 weeks between jobs. They say it's just for the summer or until uni starts. Just until I find something better. And you believe them because you're naive. But that's how it begins. One friend joins retail. Suddenly, the group chat becomes, hey, we're hiring. You should apply. It's easy money. The team's nice. And look at the discounts you get. And before you know it, the first friend has unknowingly become the recruiter. And then starts the chain reaction. Once the first friend joins, the rest follow like dominoes. Someone needs a bit of extra cash. Someone needs weekend work. Someone needs a job that doesn't require experience. Someone that needs a job that hires literally anyone with a pulse. And retail is always there, waiting, watching, ready to absorb another soul. Before long, half your friend group is working in different stores in the same shopping centre. You're all on different rotas, different shifts, different uniforms, but the trauma is shared. Retail becomes the unofficial reunion spot. You don't meet at the pub anymore. You meet in the food court on your 30-minute break. And then there's the one friend who swore they would never do retail. There's always that one who says, I could never work in retail. They say it with confidence, with pride, and a sense of almost superiority. And then life hits them. Bills really hit. And reality sadly hits them. And suddenly, they're wearing a name badge and asking customers if they need help finding anything. This friend is always the most traumatised. They go from, I'd never do retail, to, I've seen things, in about 3 shifts. They become the one who vents the most, the one who cries in the stockroom, the one who develops a twitch every time somebody says, excuse me. Retail, it humbles people quickly. So you share a trauma bond. Once all your friends are in retail, something magical happens. You develop a shared trauma bond. You start having conversations like, did someone shout at you today? Yeah. You? Yeah. Or, what's the worst thing you've seen this week? Oh, you don't want to know. Or, why are customers like this? And you're like, I don't know, but I think it must be genetic. Retail trauma becomes your love language. You don't talk about hobbies anymore. You talk about rude customers, broken tills, understaffed shifts, managers who just disappear when things get busy, the delivery that arrived just at the wrong time, the colleague who does absolutely nothing but still gets praised. Retail becomes the glue holding your friendship together. And then there's the discount culture. Another reason all your friends end up in retail is the discount. Retail discounts are powerful, they're addictive and they're dangerous. Your friend suddenly gets 40% off a pair of shoes. Suddenly, you're applying for that job. Your friend gets 50% off clothes. You're updating your CV. You're thinking, That's worth it for 50%. Your other friend gets free coffee, and you're almost there signing the contract. Retail discounts turn friend groups into multi-store ecosystems. You've got the friend who works in fashion, the one who works in tech, the other in food or homeware, beauty. Together, you form almost like a retail Voltron, a discount-powered alliance. And then you've got the shift syncing experience. Once enough for your friends, they'll all end up that one magical time that you all end up with your shift syncing in time. Almost like you're planning a heist. You compare rotors, you swap shifts, you plan breaks together, and you coordinate lunch runs. You become like a retail wolf pack. And the best part, you all understand each other's misery. If one friend says, I've had a customer shout at me, nobody asks why. Nobody asks what happened, or even the context. You'll just nod because you know. Eventually, someone leaves retail, they escape. They got a real job, and they moved on. And for a moment, you're proud of them. But then 6 months later, they come back. Because retail is a way of pulling people back in again. Maybe they needed extra money. Maybe their new job possibly was worse. Maybe they missed the chaos. Maybe they missed the discount. Whatever the reason, they return. And then the cycle continues. Retail isn't a job. It's a boomerang. As adults, you don't see your friends as much as you did when you were a child. Because everyone's busy, tired, or working. But retail keeps you connected. You bump into each other in the shopping centre. You visit each other's stores. You wave through the shop window like you're in prison visitation room. Retail becomes a place where friendships survive adulthood. You don't meet at parties anymore. You meet in the staff room or the stock room or even in a queue for the microwave. Retail becomes the social hub you never asked for. And the moment of truth. Retail is accessible. It's flexible, always hiring. And it doesn't judge your background. It doesn't care if you have experience. And it doesn't care if you're still figuring life out. Retail takes everyone, accepts everyone. So retail becomes the default job because it's the one place that always has space. And honestly, retail teaches you more about people, patience and survival than nearly every other career will. So why do all your friends end up working in retail? Because retail's the great equaliser. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what your dreams are. At some point, you'll wear a name badge. Retail brings people together. It traumatises people together and creates friendships that can last a lifetime, mostly because you all survived the same horrors. So retail isn't just a job, it's a rite of passage.